Welcome back to Factorio Hyperbase, where we are going to build a massive vanilla science mega giga hyperbase. Since last time, I've actually done a little bit of work. I've turned the copper into a proper four-way by filling out copper. There's a tiny bit left. It's definitely not enough to fill out a second segment. Likewise, it looks like we're still missing a couple of objects in here. So I guess we'll run down there. Oh, we've still got some bots that are being a bit dumb. I've put a radar up the top here. We're going to need to start hunting for more resources. The coal's getting kind of short. I've had to add a little bit more power into the remainder of our items. Actually, can you see the power? Yes, you can. Good. So I added one more of these. That's all I've got. Right at the second it's okay, but it perhaps isn't always, so we may have to do something about that fairly soon as well. Let's just come down here. Hopefully I have what I need to finish off the iron side, or the bots can do it for me or something like that, because that's really what I wanted. That's a lot better, bots. When most of it's built, you actually can manage. Except we are getting very low on inserters now. Come on, do the inserters over here. I also filled out the main bus so that the full 4 lanes went from where they needed to. 12 inserters left. So what we need to do basically is probably bring some train stuff online, or at least rails, and engines for the locomotives. We are completely out of inserters again. I don't mind the belts being spent on this. We'll need it all sooner or later, but the most important thing right now is, oh, excuse me, finishing off that stack. Oh, and getting steel down here. I do have some lights on me, so I would like to also get some light into our operations. Right, now we want more of those. We also want steel to come in here. Yeah. I'm going to have to do something a little bit fancy here. We're going to have to do that with steel to fit it in. And now, oops, that light might be in a bad spot. I would have to use wires if I use one chest here. So it's probably not going to work. Let's do it that way. Maybe less of those. Well, we're going to be building rail soon, so we are going to need all of that soon enough. and I need to enable the iron gear wheels to keep coming up here because they may well be needed past this point, so we need to be aware of that. This one needs to be steel. Let's get some steel coming over here. As it is just a single line, a single split off is all that we need to achieve this one. There we go. That should bring some steel over. That will let us start making the power stuff. Here it is. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to need another row for red circuits, then our usual lever line and whoops. A space for that, and then I want my sort of train utility to be built here, which is going to need stone. What do we need for rail? Stone, steel, and iron stick. Stone, steel, and iron. We will need electric circuits as well. Stone, steel, iron, and electric circuits. Or do we put two of those on the other side, down the bottom? Well, the stone I think we only need for the rail, so I guess that gets rid of one of these fairly easily. This can be rail. Let's get a bunch of those. We probably have a bunch now. Well, we've got 50. So this guy needs steel and iron sticks. So you can be iron sticks. You can be rail. Let's get the fast inserters. You're going to have stone come in like so. Steel. So this one can be steel. This needs iron, so how are we going to give it iron? If we do a split off, oh come on, just put it up there. If we do a split off, that gives us some iron. So steel, iron, stone. Means we need to extend this down. This one here is the steel. this one is, whoops, iron. Which means I need one of them without that, whoops, not that, that bit. That's iron. Power. And stone needs to come through here. Once again. Oh, would you stop? There we go. So now we are making rail. Let's put it into a box. Or we limit it to 2000, something like that for now. Rail, we probably want all the rest of the stuff, the signals and the locomotives and wagons. We definitely want to be making rail signals, but do I want to try and use up all of the steel, say first? Where's engines, steel, iron gear wheel and pipe? Gear wheel, pipe, engines, we also need steel in the two wagon types, and the train stop, but we don't need it in the signals. Okay. We're going to need to do something like that. So that we can run iron down there. We don't need iron directly in here, but we do need steel. And where's our blue inserters? There they are. And some power would be good. Now Now, engines, we don't actually want the engines, we just want them as an output product. How many of those we got? 400 already. That's doing pretty well. Engines are just an output product for the locomotive. We don't need them for any of these things. So we'll do locomotives next. What else do we need? We need the engines, we need steel, and we need electronic circuits. So we can probably shove them there. You can do locomotives. What else? Green circuit and steel. There's your supply of steel. Okay, this one will be green circuits. And we can output locomotives directly below, I guess, into a chest. They stack in 5s. How many do we need at first? Not sure. That's 20. So after... Oh no, we still need these two, the 2 wagons. They need... oh, that needs storage tanks as well, and pipes. Okay, so... They both need iron gear wheels, so what we could do... I might move it over 1. Iron gear wheels, the other wagon type. Other wagon type. Okay, so your iron gear wheels. You are the simple wagon type. These are going to have to go back. Like so. May even need to push it over slightly further. No. Yeah, because it's not going to give me enough space, so let's do that. You can be cargo wagons, so there's your steel. You also need iron. There's your iron. Is that everything that you need? Yep. And this one here needs iron as well, so let's see if we can extend that out. Iron gear wheels. That's all the ingredients we require there, so let us do that, and then we can output wagons into a chest as well. Limit it to, I don't know, something like that. Now, the fuel wagon. We need pipes and we need storage tanks. Storage tanks are steel and iron. Pipe is just iron. If you were storage tank and you were pipes, and you were those, so there is your cogs. No, we need steel for those as well. Okay, so there is your iron. So you've got pipe. Okay, so you've actually got all 4 of your ingredients, so we don't now just need to sort out giving these 2 their ingredients. That one's just iron plate, this one is iron plate and steel, so it would make more sense if these were swapped around probably. Pipe. I might just let this one draw directly off the steel, and we will run some iron down the side here. And power. And how many oil tankers do we want? Hard to say. Maybe something like that for now. Oh, what are you missing? Ah, green circuits, because we haven't actually supplied green circuits to here yet. So they need to come in. About there. Which means we need one of those. One of those and a little bit more. Depth there, 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 everywhere really. So there's the green circuits coming through. This should enable us to start getting locomotives. There we go. Product's finished. 1. So now train stops. I think train stops are the last of the steel, so the signals don't need steel, they just need iron and electric circuits, so that should be fine. Train stop. Iron and electric circuit. Yeah, this is going to be slightly annoying because we can't put the iron down any sooner than that, which means this one is going to have to come over even further. Like so. Makes this a slightly messy build, but that's alright. I don't mind. We can deal with it. How many train stops do we want? Maybe one stack. Let's get something else happening. Maybe concrete. That'd be good for us. There we go. We can start building that. Now, signals are the last thing. What do we need? Iron and electric circuit. Maybe we'll make the most of this electric circuit thing by getting rid of that and running the iron down there. Doing something like that. We can then use reds to fill those up. You can be rail signals, you can be the chain signals, and we obviously need a tiny bit more. And more power, of course. Now, how many signals do I want? Perhaps, actually, I'll give it 2 stacks, in fact, of both. There is our rail minibus. How many engines do we have now? 2. So it takes a little while to make all of these. It's the engines that are the slow part. We now need to go exploring, try and find some more resources. Let me just make sure this has a level of completion. Yeah, so where's our car? Way over there. Okay. Let's run up here. Let's grab the car, do a quick explore. Do I have any stone brick on me? No. I do now. Oops. Gives me a path out here. So where's the car? It is still above me just a little bit. There we go. There's the car. Come on, bots. Stop mucking around with that stuff. We're going for a drive. I think I probably want to go south and east more than west. From memory, let me just have a sip of my drink. Okay, so we were a little bit close there. Hopefully the bots can hurry back. Maybe I'll quickly disable them once they get back. Here we go. Yes, that's a bit more promising. Come on guys, stop doing trips that you can't handle. There's another 29 of them. They shouldn't be far. $28, $22 to go. Come on guys. Hurry up. So this world has supposedly low forest. It doesn't have cliffs. Because when I say we're going to go big, I do mean it. We are going to go really big. That's all 50. Good. Get out of me. Thanks, guys. We're not having you running around. So let's come down here. Rocks that you're not looking out for. Not the best thing in the world. So we probably need to extend the labs now as well, since the sciences have slowed down a bit. Let's just push out here and see what we come across. We won't be coming across water features. We might come across... There we go, there's some copper. That's probably the least needed of the resources that we were after. Coal is pretty much essential if we're going to increase our power much more. Coal and iron is the next sciences we build. We drain a lot of iron, so we can certainly use a whole lot. I don't think that's coal, no, it doesn't look at all like it. Hang on, let me just... No, there's no coal there. I spread these patches out a huge amount, so they might be big patches. In fact, they probably are. We're already up to 23 million. But they're few and far between. So it's going to take a little bit of hunting to find where they are. Is that something? No. Which is kind of the point of RSO, if you ask me. You don't just get given these things, you got to work for it, but without biters it's not that hard to work for it, I guess. If biters weren't quite as bad a nuisance in the latter part of the game, the end part where the size of your wall is just ludicrous and a waste of UPS, or you're having to deal with stuff from one end of the base to the other, which is just a bit extreme, so no thank you. One eye on the mini-map in case I see something. Well, here's the fullness of this fairly rich patch, so we certainly know where to go to get some more copper. 46 million, that's not a bad patch. I think I told it not to spawn trees on the patches, just to save myself more clearance. Really, the only thing we can do is run back and forth and hope that... Was that a patch of something? I don't think so. It's just this darkened soil. What's that? Nothing, I don't think. Alright, let's come out this way a bit. I mean, I could easily miss stuff if this sort of searching, so we need to be a little bit methodical about it. I could do with some iron and some coal game. So even having a look first, the sources are pretty sparse. Normal radars are not going to help much, but when you do find them, I have set them very high. I think I've found some stone, but that's not really what we were after. Yes. 31 million stone. Oh, well, let's keep searching. The game is going to... There we go, there's some iron. And a pretty decent one, I think. Yes. Very decent one. Well, very decent in terms of surface area. 186 million. Pretty decent in terms of total capacity as well, so that will satisfy our iron needs for quite some time, I should expect. I do need more coal though. This little patch here is pretty much fully drawn on. It only has well, it's got 290k left, which isn't too bad, but when we expand power a bit more, we don't really have any ability to leverage off that a little bit more. I also wouldn't mind finding some oil, so I think we need to keep exploring a bit longer. It's not coal down there, is it? I don't think so. No. We will find coal sooner or later. There is some coal around. Coal isn't quite as extreme as iron and copper in this map. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but you just have to do the yards, the hard yards, and find it. It's annoying that it looks similar to this sort of darkened soil in this map. Oh, there we go. And this will be a fairly decent one as well, I should imagine. Let's just check on the mini-map. 44 million coal. So, yes, rail operations. We probably need to run... I haven't found any oil yet. Concrete. Let's put something else on. What's that? Insert a stack bonus. That's always useful. Do I keep going looking for some oil? I don't really want to deal with just that tiny amount. Our belts are fairly full all the way down, but when I expand out this green circuit build, that perhaps won't remain the case for too much longer. I do think I would like to try and find oil. I'd rather just ignore that minute amount of oil near the base and find a decent amount of oil out here with a bit of luck. We could always use coal. Oh. Even more copper, just in case we were concerned. Came out of nowhere. What's this one? 229 million. So yeah, 46 there, 200 here. That's sort of my end game kind of reserves, but it's not what we are immediately after. We are trying to find some oil game. Going back over the territory we've already seen probably isn't helping in that. Oh, more coal. Well, coal liquefaction is always an option, but I don't think I am going to need to do that. Even more copper. I know they said that they were going to make, I don't know if it's because of RSO doing things its own way that's got the copper generation still higher than the iron, but I know the devs did say that they were going to make iron more frequent, but it doesn't look like that so far on this map. Just looking for some oil now, map. Oh, silly rock. Come up here. We will find oil soon. Quite possibly we'll only need one of the size patches that we find. It's nice to have lesser trees as well, although there's still quite a few of them. You can't really do the game with no trees at all. You need trees right at the beginning of the game, although maybe with that quick start mod it's not actually necessary even to have any trees. Ooh. A little bit harder to drive at night, and so much for low trees. That looks like quite a sizable forest. Let's come out this way a little bit, see if we can find an oil patch this way. Ooh. I don't want to blow up my car, it's probably quite a long walk home. What's that? Another stone patch. Yes, another stone patch. There must be oil somewhere around here. Just not 100% sure where. Any patch I find out here is going to be a lot better than the one in the starting area, which is minute. Oop. Just avoid that little cluster of trees. Come on, we've found everything else, game. Surely you can just give me this one last thing. Here's even more copper. As I said, copper everywhere, but why I was less excited about finding the initial bit of copper. I might have to call this search very shortly, guys. Maybe do some searching off air. Because this is probably starting to get a little bit dull, I would guess. So, alright then, thanks for joining me, guys. Maybe I will... Oh, as soon as you start saying that sort of thing. Oil! So what's this one? 59,000, and just a handful of them, whereas this one over here, 2,000, if that. 59,000. Pretty sure there's an even better patch over here, but finding oil was the key. We have coal. We can expand our operation in terms of smelting. We have iron, we have copper, we have stone if we need it. So it's all good, guys. Next episode, expect us to probably work on building trains out to these new patches. We will probably even go back and set up the oil in our Make Everything factory so that it can start making oil for us. I might have to double up the number of miners that we're getting out of there, but certainly we need to start running some trains to supply down here. 1.5 million. There's still quite a lot in these initial starting areas, but obviously not enough to be able to fill out all of our smelting requirements. Anyway, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye bye for now.